You're listening to That Vegan Couples podcast with Natasha and Luca.
Episode number 88, Don't F*** with Cats Review.
Welcome to That Vegan Couples podcast. 2 people, 1 mic, endless possibilities. And now your hosts, Natasha and Luca.
Today's episode is something really different, and it's something that we wouldn't have thought to look into to discuss, to be honest.
No.
But it was actually requested by 2 of our patrons on the same day, would you believe?
So we had to do it.
We had to.
And we've also had a few messages sent to us on Instagram about this topic too. We were asked to review the Netflix docuseries Don't F*** with Cats, Hunting an Internet Killer is the tagline.
Phew, just that title alone gives you shivers, doesn't it? So there are 3 episodes in this series, and of course we took notes along the way as we were watching, and we're going to refer to them throughout this episode. And it was given a rating of 8.3 on Internet Movie Database.
That's very decent. That definitely got my attention.
Yes.
I was glad for that. Of course, this podcast show is going to be full of spoilers, so if you want to watch the series first, then please pause this episode, go and watch the series on Netflix, and then come back to listen to this episode later on.
You've been warned.
How many times have we been sprung by people giving us
don't you
the
hate
details
that?
of some series that we were going to watch?
Exactly. So you've had the spoiler alert.
The synopsis on Netflix reads, a twisted criminal's gruesome videos drive a group of amateur online sleuths to launch a risky manhunt that pulls them into a dark underworld.
Now, this isn't the type of thing that we would typically be interested in watching, is it? It's not really our genre. But this series has really taken off and drawn a lot of people in. People have been raving about it online, and it was absolutely enthralling, we have to say.
Yeah, and Netflix has been pushing it to us while we've been watching other series on Netflix.
Yes.
And you know what? I think it's valid, all the hype around it, because it was very good.
It was very good. And in fact, the whole time we were watching it, we were thinking, oh my gosh, this is a true story. Like, this actually happened.
Like, it was like a movie, but like
real.
What is it? A fictional
thriller.
movie?
Oh, right. Yeah. But it was mind-blowing. And it actually seemed too far out to be real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like it seemed like a fictional
story.
Hollywood
Yeah,
film.
exactly. Yeah. But it is real, which of course makes this incredibly scary, but also extra fascinating.
Yeah, so we rate this docuseries very highly. We really enjoyed it, and we were totally hooked by the end of the first episode, weren't we?
We sure were. Now, not only does this series raise issues about animal exploitation and abuse, but it also expands the discussion to censorship, seeking justice, cognitive dissonance, and much more that we're going to talk about throughout this episode.
So here are the 2 requests we were sent on Patreon. The first request from T reads, watch Don't F*** with Cats on Netflix. It's new and a lot of people are talking about it. It's about a guy who makes videos killing kittens, then posts the videos online. It's about a group of people who try to find out who he is. The entire time I kept wondering, I wonder if they eat animals or just care about kitties. Anyway, this guy goes on to do more horrible things. I'd really be curious to know if the self-appointed investigators eat animals. If you're looking for something to watch, it's a crazy real-life thing.
I think that's a really good line. It's a crazy real-life thing. That's exactly what we were thinking and what we just said earlier on, right? It's just It's crazy and it's real, and that makes it even scarier. Oof.
The second request from Taylor reads, how do you all feel about the existence of the dark web? Do you believe in any kind of censorship online? I recently just finished watching the Netflix docuseries Don't F*** with Cats, and it really got me thinking about online censorship. The beauty of the internet is that now activists have the ability to post footage, expose factory farming, evil wrongdoing, etc. And yet, there's a whole other area of the internet in which people are allowed to post crush videos and even a brutal murder for people's enjoyment, in air quotes. Where do we draw the line? Can we draw a line? I'm curious about your thoughts.
Great questions, and although we're going to explore all the intricate links this series has with veganism, with animal rights and activism, I was actually equally intrigued by the dark web.
As was I.
Yeah, now admittedly, we didn't know much about it before we were watching this series, and then we looked into it a little bit more, and I still don't even understand it completely, to be honest. It's real like, what? What I don't get is, like, how can the average person actually access this, you know? Like, how do you get into that world? Is there a magic password, like abracadabra, you know, just something opens? Is there a secret handshake? How on earth do you get into the dark web? All I know is that it has something to do with Tor and an onion.
Yeah, well,
It sounds like a fairy tale, right? The adventures of Tor and the magic onion. They take you to the deep underworld.
Yeah, like Tor, like Thor.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
I think Tor is an acronym for the onion. Is it router or something like that? I'm not sure about the R, but I'm pretty confident on the T and the O, standing for the and onion.
I don't know. You lost me at onion. I'm like, what's an onion doing with this dark underworld thing?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do. Anyway, so we'll talk about all of this later on. But first, let's dive into don't f*** with cats.
So the bad guy, the criminal, the murderer is Luca Magnotta. Now, yeah, I know. It's
super creepy. Every time they said Luca, we're like, ooh.
Yeah. Is that going to be associated with my name going forward now for anyone who's watched this series if they didn't know about this criminal
just
beforehand?
Awful. Yuck. Anyway, so he starts off by making videos where he's tormenting kittens. He's actually killing kittens. So there are about, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 videos that he makes with kittens before he goes on to kill a man. So just briefly, we won't go into too much detail, but and I should say, actually, a lot of people were hesitant to watch this series because they didn't want to see the killing of the animals, the abuse. And it didn't show everything, like it didn't show the entire videos, did it? It gave you an idea, like you knew what was going to happen and it showed you parts of it, but it didn't actually show the full killing of these kittens. So the first video starts, it's called One Boy, Two Kittens, and basically he takes these 2 little kittens, he's playing with them on the bed, and he puts them in a vacuum bag and